Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Finks.
We're back, man. Episode 347.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get right into it. Quincy Jones passes away at 91 years of age.
Man.
That's crazy, man. He went from no colors to OnlyFans. All right. Quincy Jones, music titan who worked with everyone from Frank Sinatra to Michael Jackson, dies at 91. The multi-talented music titan whose vast legacy ranged from producing Michael Jackson's historic Thriller album to winning prize-winning film and television scores and collaborating with Frank Sinatra, Ray Charles, and hundreds of other recording artists, died in 91. Jones publicist Arnold Robinson says he died Sunday night at his home in Bel Air section of Los Angeles, surrounded by his family. Jones was to have received an honorary Academy Award later this month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, and in quote, tonight with the, well, I don't need to read that. We know he passed. Mm-hmm. I will say this. Like, he won at life, bro. I don't feel sorry for him at all. Of course, condolences to him. I mean, condolences to his, him and his family and whatnot. But at the same time, like, I don't feel bad for Quincy Jones because he won. He utilized every moment and every year that he had of his life. Mm-hmm. Nigga was still receiving. I don't want to call him a nigga, but the man was still receiving, awards at 91.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely think he's just a guy who has utilized all of his time wisely and has been around a long time. 91 years is crazy work. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why I cracked that joke at the top of the pod. Like, he went from no coloreds, whites only, to all the way to now, where there's literally people that get paid to show their booty hole on OnlyFans. Like, imagine that, living that long. Mm-hmm. You see the world become that progressive. Mm-hmm. Like, back in the day, he probably seen a girl with like a skirt down, like past her knees, and be like, "Whoo, oh my God." Like, that was OnlyFans back then.
Marianne, you look good, man. Marianne, got a little ass on you, Marianne. Yeah, Michael Jackson, man. It's really good. I just put the stuff on top of it. It was good.
Those ankles look amazing. Niggas was jacking off the ankles back then. God damn. Crazy how where we came from, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Quincy Jones, man.
Yeah, Quincy, I think he's probably most famous for obviously producing with Michael Jackson, but he's done so much. Like we were talking about with Frank Sinatra and the movies that he worked on. I think the Sanford and Son score and just like just has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to music. Just his ability. And then after he's, I would say, kind of retired, he kind of became like a person that was just, like a great interview. He's talking about different people. He's giving advice to younger artists, and it was just cool to always hear from him. But yeah, it's weird too because Quincy Jones was a person that kind of outlived a lot of his what would you call it? Like the people that he worked with. I can't think of the word.
Peers?
I won't call him peers because I think he's older than, his contemporaries. He outlived Michael Jackson and a lot of these people that he worked with, and like you said, he won. He just kind of like took his love for music and just took it to the highest level. So definitely rest in peace to Quincy Jones. Just his like, I don't know, like when we just talk about like just pure music, anything that he touched was just like, really, this is amazing, like sonically amazing. So yeah, we don't have, he's a one of one. There's not too many Quincy Jones that's running around working on albums like Thriller and Off the Wall and Color Purple and all these things. It's not, they don't make them like that, So rest in peace to Quincy Jones.
Yeah, rest in peace, man.
Mm-hmm.
He made it quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Switching gears, the election. All right. I know that there's been a lot of chatter online about this, and it's been a very oversaturated topic, but we are here to oversaturate it even more. Okay. So let's get into it. Recently, Trump just won the election, and there's a lot of people that are not happy with that, and a lot of people that are. And we'll just go from the top. Here's my take. I think that both candidates did a great job of using non-traditional media to get their election out there. But I will say that there were certain things that each candidate did that kind of made it spread it out a little further. I'm having a brain fart. Kamala, I think at the beginning when she won that debate, which I believe most people would agree that she won that debate. I think after that, she just thought she had it in the bag. And I don't know if she exhausted enough towards the home run stretch. And that's one of the many reasons why she couldn't bring it home. But there's also just so many nuances to this conversation. So let me say this. Kamala Harris, let's start with her. Kamala Harris did a great job in that debate. She smoked Donald Trump in that debate and had him looking crazy. Then after that, she had a good interview on Fox where she was on there with the Fox correspondent, and he was like putting the heat on her, and she did a good job with that. But after that moment, it was pretty much it for Kamala. I think that she went to too many liberal outlets. I think that she went to Call Her Daddy podcast. It's like a sex podcast. She went to there. Then she went to, where else did she go? All the Smoke. Then she went to The View. She went to all these left-leaning outlets, which is fine. But at the same time, you got to go where all the people are. And I think that at the end, that's what Trump did better than Kamala. I think he went to Flagrant podcast. He went to Theo Von's podcast. He went to Joe Rogan's podcast. And what's crazy is between on Joe Rogan, between Elon Musk, fucking Donald Trump, and JD Vance, they had 73 million views between those three. And Kamala decided not to go on Joe Rogan. I think she would have killed it. I think she would have did a great job on Joe Rogan, and it would have been able to put her in front of more people. But when you go to Club Shay Shay and you do wrap everything up, you can't play it safe. Another reason why I think she lost is she never separated herself from Joe Biden. And I think that even though I'm more left-leaning, I voted for Joe Biden. But that was not the greatest administration, if I'm being objective. And when she was asked if she would do anything differently, she basically said, like, she was pretty much step for step for what Joe Biden did. And when you do that shit, everybody's like, look, we don't want to reelect the same thing. So anybody that's on the fence about Kamala, you gave them reason to go somewhere else. Like, do you want to be the president or not? You should have said, hey, there are some things that Joe Biden did that I don't necessarily agree with, but, he's, the commander in chief, and under my presidency, I'm going to do better. If that's throwing somebody under the bus, then so be it. Like, do you want to be the president or not?
Yeah.
So I think she could have did a better job with that. There's another element to why she lost. Believe it or not, she is a woman, and I don't want to throw the sexism card in there, but that is also an element. I think
more so that she's a black woman.
Yeah.
And I can't really say, because I think Hillary won the popular vote, right? When she went up against Trump. So obviously people, they don't mind voting for a woman, but when you add that black woman element to it, I think that probably plays a bigger role than just her being just a woman.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many elements as well. I think another element too is, believe it or not, like the amount of women that voted for Trump. There's probably some built-in misogyny there. Like I think a lot of women love to say that men are, the patriarchy and misogyny and this and that, but there's a lot of women that are upholding the patriarchy and misogyny by the way you act and the things you do. Because behind closed doors, you went right in that motherfucking booth and you voted for Trump. And I'm not faulting anybody for who they voted for. Do you? But it's an element to it. Also, another element is the fact that Kamala was presenting some things that were just not important to the American people. I think that there was a conversation behind, gender affirming care or whatever it was in prison for trans people to keep their medications while they're locked up. And I'm like, this is not important to us. Like, Americans are trying to afford things. This is not a pertinent conversation to have.
I don't even think it was a conversation. I just think Trump utilized that clip
Absolutely.
from a small conversation, and he just blew it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would. This is what I would say. I think that I don't know if I think Kamala has some missteps in her campaign. I would say, you know, she got dealt the short end of the stick, only having 100 or so days to try to put something together.
Right.
Yeah, she was fighting an uphill battle for sure. I thought she did well during the debate, and I think that there was a lot of. I think she went into election day with a lot of confidence. You know, just her being at Howard, her having, you know, all the community out there, the Breakfast Club, and a lot of the political pundits that are, you know, that are frequently on the Breakfast Club were out there, and they were live. And as those numbers started to roll in, it just started drying up. You know, people started leaving. You know, the people, Charlemagne, DJ Envy, Angela Rye, they just started losing confidence. Mm-hmm. And then it started to go from, you know, like how she's going to, you know, potentially win or what she has to do to win to why, you know, things went wrong. And I think that she definitely has some missteps, but I think more so than her having missteps was that, one, you just got Donald Trump, man. Donald Trump was already the president before.
Absolutely.
You know, so he's not the incumbent technically, but the incumbent president wins. You know, I don't know, statistically, probably 90% of the time. Right. And he lost last time. Obviously, it didn't work out, but I think that people were just a little tired and exhausted. But he barely lost. It wasn't like a landslide.
Absolutely.
But I think that Donald Trump, he just ran just a well orchestrated campaign, having Elon Musk on his side.
Yep.
You know, just being present on Twitter. He was, you know, he didn't do well in the debate, and he didn't do another debate. But what he did do well in was running these ads.
Yeah.
You know, he was, you know, like you said, and he went on podcasts, and I didn't vote for Donald Trump, but he went on podcasts, and like Andrew Schultz's podcast, for example, if I was an independent and I was just listening to that conversation, I would be like, man, he's making a lot of sense. He doesn't sound crazy. He's not joking about people. He's not disrespecting any community or whatever. He sounds like a person that's ready to lead this country. And that's like a testament to him, you know, and I don't know if that's him being better. I don't know if whatever, but this time around, he didn't do all of this work, all of this legwork last time. And I think that it paid off, you know, and I think that there was I think, you know, and I think that, like I said, Donald Trump did a great campaign, but I also think that it's difficult. There's a lot of flip flop. Like after George Bush, we got tired, gas prices is high and everything like that. We want something different. So Obama comes in, he's talking about hope and bringing back America and all these different things. And then we have Barack Obama, and then, you know, it usually flip flops in that way. So people were just tired of, you know, what Biden had going on, and Kamala. I feel like if Kamala Harris was not connected to the Biden administration, then she would have had a little bit more steam. And I think another thing that happened, like, you know, so that's me just kind of bigging up what Donald Trump did, but I think the biggest thing, as far as like why Kamala Harris didn't fare so great, is because you have people questioning her as an individual. Yeah. And when you have, I was just talking to my boys, we were like, and I was telling them, I was like, it was no question if you were black and you were a Democrat, you were voting for Barack Obama. You know, just his charisma, just the way he was,
he's
just
an
the
eloquent
stuff that he was. That's what he's saying. No black man, no black person that was a Democrat questioned if they were going to vote for Barack. But I've had black people like, I don't know. I don't know about Kamala. Like, and that's where I think she lost. Like,
absolutely.
And you know, a lot of it is, you know, the way that she, like the background in which she came from, like being a prosecutor and all of this stuff. And I felt like she didn't really do a great job of just saying like, hey, that was my job then, and, you know, I was doing my job and blah, blah. You know, like she didn't do a great job of like kind of becoming likable. And I think to me,
she could have did it.
Yeah, I think to me she did. When I hear her talk, I'm like, oh, this is a smart, well educated Black woman who actually understands like politics and has a plan to do something. But she didn't do it well enough for
Absolutely
like the
not.
average person that's just walking around. And I think Donald Trump, he was able to do that a little bit more than Kamala Harris was.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. I also think that the bad thing that they did once Barack got on the campaign trail, he kind of chastised Black men, and that turned them off. They lost 6% of the Black vote from Black men this election. And I think that, Black men are free men that are free to make their own decisions. You can't try to, I won't say proposition, but tell them that they need to step up. And it's like, bro, like that was just unnecessary. And he mentioned, I think, when I was running, I had the support, and I just feel like there's not a lot of support coming. It's like, well, that's her fucking job to do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And also too, all that fucking money they gave to Ukraine, that turns a lot of people off. Me and Keith are both more left leaning, but we're more realists when it comes to these conversations. You can't just say, that she should have ran away with it. If you don't separate yourself from some of the decisions that were done in the last administration, or excuse me, the current administration, then people are afraid to vote for you.
Yeah.
And these elements start to work against you the closer it gets to the race.
Yeah, I think she was running on ideologies versus like what people actually care about.
Absolutely.
Because you got to realize, like, when it comes to the Democrats, the Democratic states is going to be the Democratic states. Yeah. You're going to win California. You're going to win a lot of these places that you already know you're going to win. The real battle is the swing states. And the thing about the swing states is that they obviously are swing states for a reason. They vote for the person that they think is best suited to run this country. And if you're like trying to be like, I care about sex changes in prison, I care about these things, and I care about, foreign affairs and all these things, like us as people that are like, middle left-leaning people in Bakersfield, it's like, we don't care about all of that stuff. Like, and I don't wish no harm on nobody, but as far as like, we care primarily about like what we got going on. Like,
Absolutely.
How much money can we save in taxes?
Absolutely.
Is it easier to buy a house? How much does groceries cost?
Absolutely.
How much does gas cost? That's like what our main concerns are. I don't like fill my brain up with, what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. It's just not
Absolutely
really,
not.
that's for politics and politicians to figure out. Yeah. That's not really my job. My job is to take care of like, my loved ones and the people around me.
Absolutely.
So I think that she, when it comes to like the Democratic stuff, and it, like I said, it went well when we were talking about the debate, when she was saying like, I got a plan to give money to these people. I got a plan to do this. I got a plan to do that. It was like a strong effort. And I think, I don't know. I think Donald Trump realized he took an L. He lost that round, and then that nigga just bounced back. He got on Joe Rogan. He got on Schultz. He got on all these different platforms, and he started going crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And he just started talking, and it's like, and the thing about it is, what happened too is you started to see that the Democrats were spreading lies. They, Donald Trump is trying to take your rights away. Donald Trump get on there. He calm. He not yelling at nobody. He like, no, I'm not trying to take nobody's rights away. I'm just putting it back in the States. Boom. Like, how do you respond to that?
Yeah.
So that's the type of stuff that he was doing.
I think that the mistake that the Democrats made is they were relying on the lack of research from voters on the left. And I think that they were doubling down on it, and that's not a good thing. Because I started to realize that when you got like Meg Thee Stallion twerking on stage, and then you getting all these celebrity endorsements, you're oversaturating your campaign with celebrity endorsements instead of really tackling the issues. You got Meg Thee Stallion, Glorilla, you got Cardi B speaking at your this is not important. And Cardi B don't got the best. She arguing with Offset online. I don't they need to vet people better. You arguing with your baby's daddy online, you don't get to speak at my campaign. Like, they're not doing any real research. You got to go where the people are. That's That's not it. Now, it's happened on the right, too, because the right had some celebrity endorsements. You had Hulk Hogan, like, what are you going to do when Trumpomania? It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, on both sides, they had some celebrity endorsements, but I think Kamala overdid it. Because she had John Legend. She even had Taylor Swift. You know, and freaking Beyonce was there. That's why. That's when fucking Trump was like, she's having a dance party with Beyonce.
Dance party with Beyonce.
Dance party with Beyonce. They turned it into a whole rap song.
There's a video, and I don't know what it's from or what, if it's like a documentary or what, but they have Trump sitting in like a room, and he has a woman on the laptop, and then a couple other people in his group like sitting around him, and they're watching a speech from Kamala Harris, and he's just like firing. You know, she'll say something, and Donald Trump is doing this and this and this and this, and he'd be like, that's not right. Let's write this right here. Boom. And she's like typing, and then she's just like responding to the things via Twitter. Like, God. Actually, that's wrong. Fact says like blah, blah, blah. It actually was 20 million people. And it's like, I just seen like he was just ready for war, dog.
He was. And what makes it worse is there were certain things that some people on the right were finding about Kamala. Candace Owens found out that Kamala was lying in her book about her relationship with her grandmother and how she wasn't even alive when her grandmother was. It was something of that to that nature. And those, like, she did like a little bit of like cross-referencing and whatnot, and she found out she was lying. So you got, and then Tim Walz got busted in a lie too. So that's the thing. And we're not saying Trump is a fucking
I was going to say Trump be lying all the time.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm going to take everybody to Mexico and just drop them off.
Yeah.
You'd be like, you can't do that, Trump. You can't fucking do that. So I'm not trying to make an honest man out of Trump. I am saying, though, the right did get busted lying, too. A lot of politicians get busted lying. And in this case, I'll say, what was another thing that I had here in the notes? Because there's just so much. I think also America got a chance to weigh the pros and cons of each administration. I think that Trump lost that last election primarily because of his ineptitude when it came to dealing with the pandemic. The fact that he called it a hoax and people were dying and shit. And when it came time to vote, they voted him the fuck out of there. But now they seen Biden's administration, and this nigga Biden done fell down 3 motherfucking times in one term.
Yeah.
You know, you falling off bikes, you falling up Air Force One.
Yeah.
Like, and then one time, the last time he fell was probably the worst one.
That nigga Biden said, so I could get to falling in my Air Force One. Falling in my Air Force One.
I'm falling down. You ain't black. It's like, dude, like that was wild, bro. I think that people got a chance to look at both of the administrations side by side.
Right.
And that allowed them to determine what they wanted in there.
Right.
I think that's why I think this is very nuanced. And I think it's our job to bring more nuance to the overall conversation, because some people are looking at this very simplistic, like America showed us who they are, and this is da-da-da. I think it's deeper than that. I think that a lot of those elements can be true. I think there could be elements of racism or sexism in there, but it's deeper than just that.
You can't say that, dude, because these are swing states.
Yeah.
Like, these are states that historically have been like, I'm just voting who I think the best president is.
Absolutely.
Like, if anybody is like has any sort of whatever, it's California or New York or these people that are these places that always vote the same side every single time. These are like, you can't say the same thing about Iowa or Florida or whatever. These are, Florida was ain't that the one that Al Gore lost that ended up costing him, the election? So it's like, it's, like it's like you said, we can try to make it as like this, everybody's racist and,
Oh no, we can't do that, because there are elements of it, is what I'm saying. So there are multiple things that are true. There could definitely be elements of some form of discrimination or whatever the case, but it's still your vote. And at the end of the day, those votes mean something.
Yeah. But I just think that conversation kind of falls flat when you got black people and Mexicans and everybody.
Absolutely, like, Latinos really swang the vote.
Yeah,
they really, because it was a lot of red with the Latinos. So, and then you lose 6% of the black vote, so that's also very telling.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, places like Philadelphia and Michigan with Detroit with huge black population, Georgia and Atlanta, and like these places where I don't know if she won it. I don't know what the numbers look like in Atlanta, but I know that, Trump won. It's a sweep. It was a blowout. I would say, this is what I would say. I think that Kamala, she did a fair job, right?
Right.
She like I said, she only had 180 or 108 days or something like that. But I think that as much as we talked about Donald Trump, and as much as the first go round was just kind of like a hoax, like a lot of him kind of just going up and saying pretty much anything. And I still think he did that this time around, but I just think he learned from why he lost.
Absolutely.
And I think that he just put a master class on. Like I'm not going to say it's unprecedented, but I think that, to win all the swing states,
that's insane.
For somebody that was like actually confident, somebody that, like I said, put on a whole event, somebody that planned to come out and talk at Howard, during that evening, and then the numbers started to roll in, and then she just tucked her tail. And I'm not saying she tucked her tail, but she didn't come out and speak. Like that's saying something.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, she only won the state she was supposed to win.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she didn't even. I guess then people was waiting.
Yeah,
and she didn't come out.
Yeah, the people at Howard, they were saying that the whole night. Yeah, like the vice president is going to come out and speak, but I think she started seeing them numbers roll in, and I can see why she would be confident. I think also, I'm not going to say the mistake, but I think that she was on the same thought process as Hillary was.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way this guy can beat me. But it's deeper than that, like we were saying
Absolutely.
before. He has, I don't know, you got to think, I was telling you this on the phone. I was like, Donald Trump was famous before all of this stuff.
Absolutely.
He had a way to garner people's attention in terms of just being a celebrity. He had a way to garner people's attention in terms of being like an entertainer, just on TV saying you're fired. Like, these are things that we knew early 2000s, late 90s that he was doing, and he was doing at a high clip. So, he's utilizing all of that name, his resources, his power, his I'm not going to say he's the greatest speaker, but he has a way with words that like people find humorous. Like, I think he's hilarious, and all of that stuff played into him, also learning from his mistakes. And I think that Kamala might not have learned from, she didn't actually make it to, she lost to Biden, but I don't know what she learned from her last go round. But I think if she would have taken anything from that last go round, she would have really sat down with people and try to figure out why don't they like her, and then really try to write the narrative about you, because the narrative is that, like, we as black people don't like you, because you locked up black people. We don't like you because of multiple reasons, but that's just one of them. And she never really addressed it. She was just trying to create policies for us to get money and stuff.
Yeah, I think that you gotta attack people in a different way, and I think that by mentioning the conversation of racism over and over again, it could become very people will stop. They'll stop taking it as serious. And calling Donald Trump racist over and over again, you got to hit him with facts.
But who cares about racism, right? Black people.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and that's just, obviously you got to get their vote. But at the same time, it's like, if we the only ones we've been crying about racism forever. And the world's still turning. So
that's a good point.
It's like, that's not big enough to, like, as if I am a right-leaning person who makes $200,000 a year, and I'm not trying to pay a bunch of taxes and all these different things. I don't really care if Donald Trump is racist.
Yeah, a lot of people are single issue voters, man.
Yeah,
they're voting in their best interest. So a lot of what you got to understand is there are shit, even as a left leaning person, that I absolutely do not fucking agree with. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there are people on the right that have that same problem, but they're voting in their best interest.
For sure. And like the thing with me, it's like, it's not all peaches and cream on the left side, but
hell no.
Enough of it. I see enough of the things that align with my ideologies where I can say like, okay, I just kind of fit over here a little bit more so. But it's at the same time, like there are people that don't really, and same thing on the right, that some of them like, oh, I think Donald Trump, the way he's talking about lowering our taxes, or if you're a waiter, that little bit where he was like, I'm going to make it so that you don't have to pay taxes on your tips. If I'm a waiter in New York or whatever, and I'm like, yo, Donald Trump is trying to like put some more money in my pocket.
That was a bombshell when he said that.
Yeah, that's a vote, so it's probably thousands of waiters, at these different places. That's like, yo, I'm a vote for him.
And I also think that his son more specifically helped him win the election. Mm-hmm. And he did it by just feeding him information on where to go. Mm-hmm. And these podcasts, we've learned that these podcasts that are non-traditional media, they help swing a lot of these votes. I really believe they did. Yeah. Because, and then also Schultz mentioned Kamala not coming on flagrant because, it was too risky. And the administration didn't want to do it. That was a big mistake. You have to reach everyone. If you're the president for everyone, you can't stop at these liberal outlets and then you finish at Club Shay Shay. I love Shannon Sharp. I think that podcast is dope, but you have to go where everyone is. There's a lot of voters that she didn't even like talk to that felt unheard.
Somebody or Joe Budden was saying that a person from her camp reached out to them, and it wasn't even about like her coming on. It was about somebody coming on speaking on her behalf, about what she's got going on. So same thing with that. It's like that's where black men are listening. Black men are listening to Joe Budden and his crew. So that would have been a great place to go to get to sit.
You need to sit down.
And Joe Budden and the people on the podcast would have asked you the hard questions.
Absolutely.
They would have asked you why you did this or why you did.
Absolutely.
And they're old enough to be around when you did certain things. So
absolutely.
But yeah, that's all of that stuff. Like you said, all of those things played a role, and you can't blame nobody but yourself.
I really think that the election would have been either close or she could have won. And people would probably disagree if she would have actually went on Joe Rogan and was able to speak openly. Joe Rogan would have gave her the floor to speak. He's very objective in a way. People are calling him, oh, he's a Trumper, oh, he's this, oh, he's that. He has said numerous times like how she won that debate against Trump, and how Trump has said some things that are flat out lies. Like he's literally had a bunch of different takes. If you really watched or listened to the Joe Rogan podcast, you would know that. Mm-hmm. And I think that by her not going on Joe Rogan and her not going on Theo Von's podcast and her not going on Flagrant's podcast had more of an effect on this campaign than people would ever believe it did. Mm-hmm. Because Theo Von's a comedian, but he's an objective listener. He had Trump on there, but he had RFK on there also, mm-hmm. and he had Bernie Sanders was on there, mm-hmm. and who was another? Was it Pete Buttigieg? I think was on there too.
Buttigieg.
Yeah, I think he might have been on there too. Could be wrong, mm-hmm. But you gotta go to these outlets if you want to. Do you want to be the president or not? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't. I think this is a clear example of like the tortoise and the hare. Like it started off hot for Kamala. She wins that debate. She's got Trump like
she raised record number. In terms of funding. That
she got fund. Yeah, she got a couple billion.
No, it was like 70 million or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so you get this funding and all this stuff's great, and I think that too. I remember there was a video when that video popped out with Meg and Meg started twerking, and it was this older white woman was in the audience, and she was like, "Oh," she was like clutching her pearls, mm-hmm. and I was like, "Oh, Kamala just lost a vote." Like when I seen, and you got to understand, like there are liberal people who are and this is the same for conservative, but there are liberal people who are old liberal, not modern liberals. People who are like more left leaning, but they're like probably more like us.
They're not super progressive.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of this stuff is not even progressive. A lot of stuff nowadays is like delusional stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think that those left-leaning people subscribe to all of the modern progression that is happening.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's part of the reason probably why Joe Biden fared so well. I mean, part of it was that, he was coming off, the whole what do you call it? The
pandemic?
COVID and everything like that. And, the country was just falling apart. And he came in. But also he's a kind of he's not a super progressive liberal. He's like an OG liberal. Yeah. So he not, you ain't gonna catch him at, certain events where they celebrating certain things. He just, But yeah, I think that, like you said, that lady that you were talking about, she's probably in the stands. She's probably a person that is like, she wants to uplift her community. She wants people to have, education and things of that nature. And she wants her tax dollars to go to help people and benefit, certain communities and help the homeless. And, that's probably what her life goals are. And, she probably, volunteers at her church and, do different things in the community. But yeah, not everybody that is a Democrat is all for like all the nonsense. We not all for like, OnlyFans and sex workers and all these things. Like, they have a different goal in their.
That's not affecting my life. Mm-hmm. It's not like an everyday thing affecting my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shout out to them, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I really don't. I really don't sleep. I really don't lose sleep at night. Like I wonder what the prostitutes are doing right now.
Right.
I wonder if that's going to affect my taxes.
It's hard too because it's like you said. There's so much. It's a spectrum. When you have the people that are on the far left, we're talking about, a lot of the sexuality things. We're talking about a lot of like. Free healthcare and free everything over here, and then you have like some of those kind of same. Democratic people that are more moderate are not necessarily like wanting a handout for everything, but they they also may want their tax dollars to go to specific places to help education and things of that nature. But yeah, it's a wide range. So when you get out there and you start to speak to these extremely left people, not realizing that most people are probably more central.
Absolutely.
More centralized, and that's what I think you've seen in this thing. We for the first time seen celebrities, Joe Rogan, Schultz, Theo Von, people of that nature actually like openly say like, "Yo, I voted for this person." And I think that I don't think that happened the first time Donald Trump, even though he got a lot of votes and people was like, dang, where are these votes coming from? Absolutely. I think this time around people was so more open with saying like, yo, I actually voted for Donald Trump because Kamala did this or I didn't like the way Kamala did X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I think that during Trump's last administration, there was like too much civil unrest, the pandemic, George Floyd. There was just so much shit. That was taking place that, it felt like if he got reelected that, he could continue that.
Right.
And people were, fearful of what would happen. And then you get Biden in there and then there's just money just getting shoveled out to Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And it's just happening and we don't know what's going on and the price of shit's going up. And I've seen the price of shit go up and look here. I don't know all the ins and outs and why they're happening, or if it's just, this administration or partly is because of Trump. I don't know. All I know is that the price of shit went up. Mm-hmm. When I went from paying like $4.25 for a carton of egg whites to that shit's like almost $8. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, come on. Yeah. Like this is like price gouging at this point. This is fucking insane. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think now this is where we are.
We can't do nothing about it for 4 years. So
no. We watched the conservatives cry for 4 years. Now the liberals about to cry for 4 years. Yeah, and the liberals, the way the liberals cry is they definitely cry for sure. They could be like, he's not my president.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just not, I don't have that energy towards it. But I had a built-in joke about like, the insurrection when it happened and whatnot, and how they stormed the Capitol. Can you imagine like if very left-wing people start storming the Capitol? They'd be like, stop, open it. Spread the door open.
Oh,
Spread it
dang.
open. They'd be like, man, I'm not letting these niggas in here. Oh, man. It is. All I can say is this.
They're going to be like, we are about to storm the Capitol. And it's just one person.
The pronouns is crazy. The pronoun thing has just destroyed the English language, man. It's like you're speaking plural, but it's singular. There's only one person here.
That's crazy.
Like we are so happy to see you, and you'd be like, "Where's the other person? Nigga, what are you talking about?" No, but it is what it is, man. I'm gonna tell you this much right now. I'm not a fan of Trump, but that's our president. I hope he does good.
That's my hope. I think that it would be foolish of all of us to wish him anything bad, because we still got to live here. We still got to pay for gas and food and everything. So hopefully he finds a way to reduce, some of these costs. And I don't know. He seems like he has a plan. And like I said, I don't necessarily align with everything that he says, but at the same time, like my hope is that he does good, because, and like I think we're talking about this on the phone. When you have black people who were lifelong Democrats saying, man, I don't know, when Trump was like, and this is during a Biden administration, when Trump was in there, we was getting bread, we was getting, getting loans, we was getting little $700 checks, we was getting extra money on top of our EBT, like we was getting money. And obviously that was economic hardship relief and things of that nature, but it doesn't matter because that was their reality. And I think that's when you have black people questioning in that way, it's hard to beat that, man. So yeah, I think, like you said, I think hopefully Trump does well. I think that, because at this point, if you're hoping he does bad, you're just trying to confirm your bias.
Yeah, it's just confirmation bias,
right?
At that point.
Yeah. So I think for me, being a person that is like, more thoughtful than that, I'm like, yo, I want this to work out.
Absolutely.
I want to save money here. I want to be able to buy houses. I want to do, I'm going to do all the things. I don't want to spend, $4 at the gas pump every time I go. I want to be able to have some more bread in my pocket. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And by the way, if there is clear signs that this administration is better than the last one, I'll admit it. Mm-hmm. I'm not one of those people. If I could see that things are getting better for people under Trump's administration, I would legitimately say, hey, this is the decent administration.
Yeah.
Like regardless of what I don't subscribe to or not. Mm-hmm. Just because it's more healthy to be objective. If you're a person that's just constantly like, I don't care what Trump does, I don't matter what he does, he's a terrible person. And it's like, you have to be able to look outside of that. Like, there's going to be things that absolutely confirm that he's a piece of shit, but there's going to be things that he does that help people, and you're going to be too busy denying those things just because you're too busy wanting to confirm your bias. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's definitely things from Obama's administration that conservatives benefited from, but they were like, that damn Obama, I can't stand that son of a bitch.
Yeah. Like
I can't look at his face. He's not from America.
That's what happened with Tommy Lauren or whatever, when she was, I don't know, she was on some show and she was talking about her health care and how she was on her parents' health care and stuff like that. And people was like, well, that's something that Obama, put into action. So, yeah.
And the thing about it, if you pay attention to politics, or if you look any deeper, you'll see that there are definitely contradictions on both sides. Like, there are people like, we need to tax the rich, and we need to do this, and we need to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And Trump only paid this much money for his taxes, but he used Obama's tax codes to do it. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like that's what people need to understand.
Yeah.
Like there's hypocrisy within all of politics.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's like y'all got to understand. Stop blocking and deleting people, man. That's another thing. The reason why you shouldn't do that is because when you're blocking and deleting people and you're getting rid of everybody, all you're doing is strengthening your echo chamber.
Yeah.
Because you're getting the perfect group of people that agree with everything you fucking say, and that is dangerous.
I will say, too, that most people are not that extreme. Like,
no,
the
there
extreme
you go.
version of whatever is like, it's few and far between.
There you go.
There are people that are Republicans that you can actually talk to.
Absolutely.
You know, they may wear a Trump hat or whatever, but they're also like, you know, I was talking to my girlfriend's grandpa, who is a white man, and he's like, you know, he's like talking, and he got the hat on. Like the hat is on there. It's like it's like a custom hat too, like NASCAR, but it got like Trump 45 on there. Like, yeah, I'm like, oh, that's a cool Dale Earnhardt hat, and it's like
he got
Trump
an unofficial Trump hat.
He got yeah.
You gonna support the president? You got to buy from his website, man. You got unofficial Trump gear on, bro.
I'm dead. Yeah, from the freaking swap meet. But,
yeah.
So, but you know, sometimes he'll say certain things like about certain communities, about, you know, Israel or something like that. He'd be like, man, it sucks what's going on over there. And I'm like, dang, that's not a typical, you know, thing that you would hear from somebody that you would think would be like, you know, a MAGA supporter. But it's you know, it's more nuanced than that. And I think that's what gets lost in a lot of these internet posts and everything, that there are some people that, you know, they're Republican and, you know, they got, you know, some conservative values, but they not necessarily racist. They just want to protect what they got going on. So yeah, it's interesting times, man. But I think we'll be all right. I'm not one of these people that's just like, oh my gosh, like the world is over. What are we gonna do? I think the crazy part about it is, and I'm sure you felt the same way about this, Eddie. Mm-hmm. On Monday, I went to work, and it was just another day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did nobody bring it up? You know, some of the kids were talking about it, but for the most part, like, it was just a regular day. It was back to regularly scheduled programming, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. Not to mention those Trump hats are made in Mexico, for those that don't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just a bunch of hypocrisy. Mm-hmm. And I'll say this, when it comes to the whole immigration thing, is they're like, we need to, like, there was somebody saying, we need mass deportation. And I'm like, hold on, cuz, hold on. That's where I got to stop you. And the reason why is because if you believe in mass deportation and you say you want the economy to be good, those two things can't happen. Mm-hmm. Because like immigrants are the backbone of like the farming and things of that nature. So if you say we want mass deportation, okay, well you better be ready to pay for a $28 salad, motherfucker. You know? Yeah. You better be ready to pay for some goddamn some cucumbers is $9 a cucumber. Mm-hmm. Like that's like the country.
But I think one, he's mentioning sending criminals back home, but then two, like I also don't know like how many. I know that there's a lot of undocumented people that are here, but I don't know how many of them are like, you know, working those jobs. But yeah, he gonna do it regardless, like, cause it's not legal. Like, it's not legal for somebody to be here illegally, so he gonna do what he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing, and from a literal sense, yes, it's not legal. But the problem with it overall is not immigrants; it's our system that is broken, and every administration has failed dealing with this shit. And if I'm a person that's an immigrant and I want to take care of my family now, I'm not gonna wait on a wait list for fucking 8 years. I'm going to if I can get into the country and find a job and I know I could get working now, I could at least send money back to my family. Or I could get my family out here and we could try our best to live an American dream, right? And it's due to the broken system is why this shit's really happening. Nobody's fixed it. Like Obama, Bush, all of them. None of them have done an exceptional job in regards to this. And the thing about it with Trump, that's going to be his biggest failure is if he does not deliver on what he said in regards to immigration.
He just said he gonna send them home. Like, it's not gonna be that hard. Like, if it's not that hard for ICE to show up to your house or wherever you live and send you back to whatever country you came from.
Did he make it like? Because some of this stuff could just be like, I guess what's the word? Hyperbole or anecdotes.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think this is what I would say. I think there's some things that are much more difficult than that. So in terms of that, like, one, it's already illegal. So it's not like, he needs to pass a bill. He needs some type of bipartisan thing. He's waiting on the Senate and the House, and there's filibusters and all that stuff. All of that is just like, all right, we're putting resources to these people in Southern California or whatever to go out there and then whatever. Or these people are in prison. We're going to put some sort of, what do you call those things? The little things he signs off on, the executive orders.
Okay.
We're going to put an executive order into play, and these people that are sitting in LA County Jail that are undocumented, we're going to ship them right back to where they came from. So I think that's something that's going to be within the first week or so of his administration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is this. I just, my biggest issue is somebody is a productive part of society and they're also paying taxes. I don't think it's okay to just send them out of here. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's fucked up. Like, especially somebody that has a family and whatnot. But if you committing crimes, man, you got to go. We got enough people in this country already committing crimes.
Yeah.
We need to start deporting people in America, just sending them everywhere.
Yeah, I think what I see is I think he seems to be talking about criminals, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying like what's legal and what's not.
Yeah.
legal.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine like being American and you commit enough crimes and they just said we're sending you to Cuba? You'd be like, come on, man, don't send me to Cuba, man, please, man, don't send me to Cuba, man, please. Yeah. Like, yeah, we got to send you to Cuba, man. I'm sorry. We got what they call the extradition.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got to extradite you. We got to get you out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
that's bad. That's bad news, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we can talk about this till we're blue in the face, man. But we'll find out what's going on. But I will say this too: them PPP loans, ooh, they coming after y'all, boy. They coming after y'all. It's people getting arrested right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't play with the government, man. They know
they're gonna get their money.
Yeah, they like Santa Claus. They know when you're sleeping. They know when you're awake. Mm-hmm. They know you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake, goddammit. Mm-hmm. All right, man, let's go ahead and move on. Switching gears. North Korean soldiers hooked on porn. This is a wild transition. Hooked on porn after getting internet access for the first time while helping Russia fight Ukraine. It's crazy. They just out there fighting wars and fighting porn. Hardened soldiers. That's a good choice of words. Indeed. North Korea military men who joined the war front in Ukraine on behalf of Russia have unfettered internet access for the first time and may be using it to watch tons of pornography. According to the report that a Pentagon official was unable to confirm, warriors from the Hemet Kingdom engaged in battle in Ukraine for the first time on Monday, but purportedly started fighting different demons before stepping onto the field, according to report. These soldiers have been engaging in Battle of the Bulge since gang-free use. Oh, this is a funny article. Use of the internet, according to the correspondent from the Financial Times. And it says, usually reliable source in North Korea, soldiers have been deployed to Russia, have been unfettered access to the internet. As a result, they are gorging on pornography, wrote Financial Times. So here's the problem, man. I think that when you restrict somebody's internet use and they only can see so much in Korea, especially like North Korea or whatever, and all of a sudden they get internet access to like the world, and they look at the porn that we got out here, Can you imagine a dude in Korea and he's like looking at big black asses on fucking internet? Yeah. And he's like, oh, what is this? Oh my God. And it's just, you go from not seeing nothing to just straight back shots.
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Mm-hmm. We know some people that we know one person in particular that got out of prison and then they got access to social media, Instagram and Facebook, and they was posting all kind of
crazy
like
shit,
thick women and all kind of crazy like
sexually suggestive stuff.
Yeah, so that's just what happened.
But it was deeper than that. It'd be like a picture of like his family, and the next one would be like, "I love eating pussy." You'd be like, "Bro, why is this like? Why would you post your family and then post the next picture with that?"
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Like, come on, man. It just, I think that what it is, and I'm glad that's a good comparison because yes, he was institutionalized, but like Korea, in a way, they're somewhat institutionalized. Mm-hmm. They're very restricted.
Yeah.
So when you get access to the internet, that porn probably crazy. Mm-hmm. That's different.
It's the first time you're seeing like just the access to it, right? You might have seen little bits here and there when you got like a little DVD or tape or something that you had, but now it's like in the palm of your hand. That's different. And you got to think, I don't know what everything, what all type of restrictions they have over there, but I would imagine they don't have the same social medias and things of that nature because a lot of social medias be banned in different countries and you don't have access to, to different, websites and stuff. So yeah, that's human nature. Just, indulging in, this new thing, and I can see why you would be addicted. Cause it's like, for the first time in your life, you probably a guy that just get a little bit of action here and there.
Right.
Your body count is not crazy high. Right. You probably got like 3 or 4 bodies on you, different women you done slept with throughout your life. And you wish it was probably more. So a couple of them probably turned you down and, like stood you up on certain occasions. But now you got unadulterated access to, KoreanHub.com. And it's like, and you just going crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you have a porn addiction, that's not good. But if you're like just a average porn watcher person, like you just watch it here and there just to, handle your business and get on about your day, then it's different.
Yeah.
But these guys are like legitimately hooked on the shit the stuff that we see in America is like nothing to us. We just see it and we're like, oh, whatever.
There was a teacher who works in the district that.
Oh, the one that got busted doing porn.
I don't know about not doing porn. I'm talking about there was one that got caught actually watching it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I guess he was watching it in like while at work. I'm like, what? That's addiction. I think that's sick. Like to be watching porn.
That happened with us when I was in the 6th grade, dude. Swear to God.
Really?
I was going.
Oh, you said that.
Yeah, I said it on the pod. I was going to William Penn. And our teacher, like, remember back in the day they had those TVs that they had on that, like it was like almost like a TV dolly.
Yeah.
Where the TV sat on it and it had wheels and they would roll it. Mm-hmm. So she rolled it in there and there was a cassette in there and she hit play and they was fucking. And we was just like, we was little kids. She's like, she's like, oh my, who did that? Who put that in there? I'm like,
it's like
lady,
they barely know what sex is.
Yeah, we didn't even know. We just seen people fucking on there.
Dang. And it wasn't no other adults in the room?
No, it was only her and all of us kids are sitting in there.
Who was she talking to then?
I don't know. But she like played it off and pulled it down.
What do you think, percentage-wise, the percentage of that 8-year-old kid did that? Or what grade were you in?
I was a 6th.
Oh, 6th grade? So what chance do you give that a student actually put that in there?
I mean, it's a little bit higher at that age because that's when we all first start seeing porn.
I think a student might have been able to do that.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Yeah. Back in the day, we didn't have cell phones, so porn was hard to come by. Mm-hmm. Like usually, you got it like you had a cousin that would sneak it to you, or something like that. I had a cousin that used to hide his porn. He had a porn what do you call a magazine? Because that was like the big thing back in the 90s.
The magazines.
It's like the magazines and the stills. And when you in like 5th, 6th grade, and you like seeing titties like that, you just like, oh my God,
that's different.
Oh my God, this is not like playing with X-Men toys. This is different.
Yeah, this is adult.
It's like, you reading through it because I read a lot of comic books when I was a kid. So you finally looking at titties and you like, I ain't never seen this comic.
Storm got some big old titties.
Storm going crazy. Storm out here going crazy, goddammit. Oh man,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean I feel bad for these guys.
Yeah,
I mean the thing about it though is if they're supposed to be in war, they can't fight. You out there with empty nuts.
You
ain't got no. Your legs is dead.
Yeah, and the thing about it, like when you talk about that type of addiction, if I related to that teacher that was just watching porn in class, and when you're kind of in a classroom, you could kind of see like how you could get away with it, right. But the fact that you would be doing it while you were at work and 2 around kids, I think that is like if you think about that in terms of like somebody in the military, you're not locked in, like you're not focused on what you got going on because you could be in battle or trying to do whatever, clean your gun or something like that, but all you thinking about is just booty, like just porn, and that's crazy. It's just it's not a good mix, man.
Yeah, you got to get to a healthy space as a man.
Yeah, I think they do got to go through that phase though, like because you get it's a new world to them.
And that kind of I won't say it didn't happen to me, but with Instagram it happened to me. Is when Instagram first started, and you have a short view of the attractive women in the world, because even though we had Facebook back in the day. You just more or less had friends and family. You didn't have like a whole bunch of people on there. So it was kind of restricted. But when Instagram popped up, you start seeing thick-ass women from Brazil and Mexico and Venezuela and Africa and Jamaica and all these women popping up. And I just start following all these.
And it's all pictures.
I'm following all these ass pages. And I'm just like, it was so many that it was just all over my socials. It was bad, bro. It was just all over there. And the thing about it is, at some point, I just like, oh, no, I got to get rid of all this shit. So I don't have anything with women doing anything remotely like that. Like no thirst trap pictures, no nothing. And that's before Instagram had video. So your mind was really going crazy. And some of them girls was doing Photoshop back then, and you didn't even know it. That's where I think these BBLs came from, bro. I think they really came from that. I think that these BBLs came from those women that were on Instagram that were posting those pictures, and they were getting all these likes and stuff, and they were like using Photoshop. Yeah. So their bodies was looking crazy, and I think that at some point that started having an effect on, having body images and whatnot for women. It's insane. Some of the shit that I seen, like it's some women that I had seen on there. I had never in my life seen a woman shaped like that before. Yeah. We talking about 2013, bro.
Yeah. Some the top 1% of body.
Absolutely.
Types, flat stomachs, double D's,
bro.
Big old booty, everything.
You know what I hate about the internet? Completely hate. What I hate about the internet is the top 1% of people in general, whether it's male or female. The top 1% of people are overrepresented on social media. And you can start to create a delusion in your mind that like a lot of people look like that when they don't. A lot of the women I see online with these small waists and these big asses and they got green eyes and all of this shit, I never see them in public. Never. Yeah. Because that's not what average people look like. Most people are average. I don't care how much social media has like made your mind delusional. You're not like that. You're not like that. I'm sorry. I know, and I think it affects women more than anything. And I think a lot of attention that they get, it can start to make them think that they look a certain way. Doesn't mean you're unattractive. It just means you're overstating your attractiveness. And when you go out in public, you think everybody wants you because you got 500 likes. Mm-hmm. Truth be told, these guys are just horny. They're just hitting like button on anything.
Yeah. And sometimes the people in the pictures don't actually look like that.
Absolutely not.
You know, that happens quite often where, it's a nice lighting, nice filter, good makeup, a well angled picture makes it look a certain way, but they may not look like that, in real life. So,
no, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Just fellas, protect yourself, man. Mm-hmm. Lay off the porn, man. I'm not telling you not to watch it, right? Nothing wrong with watching a little porn here and there, okay? Some people might disagree. It's like, I don't ever watch it. Okay, good for you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. But if you do watch it, man, you just watch. If you have an addiction in any capacity, then you really do need to stop watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't create a healthy relationship with any of that stuff, then you shouldn't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we had said enough about this.
Shout out to North Korea.
Yeah, shout out to North Korea, man. Chill with the porn, man. All right. Joel Embiid. NBA center Joel Embiid pushed a reporter for overstepping his bounds. Basically, what ended up happening here is... I want to get the exact article quote. All right, it says Embiid. Okay, it doesn't say. This thing about this article. Basically, the gist of this article is this: Joel Embiid had was it his little brother, right, or was his older brother?
I think his older brother.
It was his older brother.
Mm-hmm.
His older brother passed away in a really bad car accident, and later on, many years later, Joel Embiid had a son, and he named his son Arthur, which was his deceased brother. And one of these, what do you call them, a columnist or sports journalist? Mm-hmm. They wrote a column, and they mentioned that, speaking to his greatness, but then at the same time mentioned it's going to be hard for him to be great because he's never on the court. Mm-hmm. And to mention your deceased brother really rubbed him in the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And when he seen this guy in the hallway, he pushed the guy. Mm-hmm. I think that this is disgusting sports journalism. You shouldn't be mentioning someone's deceased brother and their kid in the same article and then mentioning how it's hard for you to be great if you're not on the court. You are using too many personal references, sir. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to get suspended too, I would have socked him right in his mouth.
Right.
I'm not going to push you and get suspended. I feel like he gave you a solid by doing that. He should have downright, this is going to sound terrible to say this, but he should have downright he should have cold cocked the dude. If you're going to suspend me, if I know I'm going to get suspended for physically harming you, I'm going to fuck you up because you have no business talking about my mom or my deceased brother or anything. Like now, if somebody was to come to me like, man, your dad used to do this and then he did, but I'm not even going to waste my time. I'm just going to fire on you. Mm-hmm. My dad's dead. Mm-hmm. He's not here to defend himself. And you're telling me about my dad? Mm-hmm. If I'm having a bad day, I'm just going to fuck you up because what's the point of me trying to articulate the right words so we don't have a problem when you're such a piece of shit? You're talking about somebody you shouldn't be talking about. Mm-hmm. These guys gotta. I think that as any type of sports journalist, you need to know when too much is too much. Skip Bayless is a guy that needs to watch his mouth, and I don't know if he's been punched before or not, but if he hasn't, he probably should have. Because Skip Bayless goes too fucking far sometimes with this stuff. And he'd be like, he's a team obliterator and he'll never be a champion in his career. It's like, those type of statements are fucking bullshit. I don't like that because you're speaking limitations on athletes too. Mm-hmm. That's not okay. You should never speak limitations on another person's life, and you should not mention people's family when especially it's unwarranted. It's ignorant. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think that we talk about this all the time. These journalists, these podcasters, these political pundits, all these people, they kind of step outside of themselves a lot of times when they're having these conversations and they start to personal digs at these people. Like, this is sports, you know? Like, this is not, it's not deeper than that. Like, you have a good game or you have a bad game, and, you know, this is, you know, you talk about scheme and the coaches and things of that nature, but as bad as anybody is doing, you should never, like, try to talk about them personally. And I think that happened even with the guy, I forget the guy's name, that used to work at ESPN, but he called RG3 a cornball or cornball brother or something. Yeah. He called him back in the day. But it's like, dog, why are you bringing up his personal life? You know, yeah. That's just like, we should only keep it on sports. We should only keep it on football. But I just think that, like, I think what Joel Embiid did, you know, it sucks that he got suspended because he is, you know, the team is trying to win a championship this year and try to make another run at it. And you know, he's not on the court and he's not able to help his team. But at the same time, I think it's important to send a message to some of these writers that you ain't gonna be able to just say any and everything about these players and myself without any sort of consequences, you know. Because it happens. Even, I mean, we listen to Grant Cohn all the time, but he be talking crazy about some of these players, you know. And it mostly be about football, but at the same time, like, you know, like, I don't know how they get it, and they call that, like, journalism, like unbiased journalism.
Yeah, you're throwing too much animation on top of it. Mm-hmm. I think here's the thing though, it's not even that's journalism. I think that you've taken the TMZ approach to reporting. And I think that you can be objectively honest about someone's performance without dogging them out. Yeah. You can say this wasn't his best day. This wasn't Jimmy Garoppolo's best day. He threw for 3 for 15 for 60 yards. And it seems like the team's going to need more from him next week to get a win or whatever the case. But some of them be like, Jimmy looked like Jimmy looked like he may have been under the influence of alcohol with the way he was throwing the ball. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you shouldn't be doing that.
Porn star Jimmy.
Yeah, porn star Jimmy. That shit that Stephen A does, that's unprofessional. Mm-hmm. Like, even on this podcast, I wouldn't call him porn star Jimmy. That's fucked up. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, sir, why are you worried about who he's dating? Mm-hmm. That's not important. What the fuck is that noise out there?
I don't know.
Is those pigeons again? We got some of the most aggressive pigeons in Bakersfield, man. These motherfuckers be coming for. I think they drink blood, man. These are the same pigeons from fucking. These are the pigeons from the Edgar Allan Poe book. It's supposed to be a raven, but it was a pigeon from Bakersfield. What was it? What was it called? My Chamber Door. What was it called?
Raven? I don't know.
Yeah, it was called the Raven.
Yeah,
but he said something like my chamber door or whatever.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna get me calling Edgar Allan Poe up here.
Yeah, I don't know why that used to creep me out, bro. Mm-hmm. Edgar Allan Poe's book. Edgar Allan Poe reminds me of like those fucking Goosebumps books from back in the day.
Yeah, but much darker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let me see. Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, he looked like he was crazy. He died in 1849. The Raven.
Damn, that's a long time ago.
Oh yeah. He got hella books. The Black Cat, The Raven.
Yeah, he had a very dark. A lot of his stuff was very dark.
OnlyFans. OnlyFans at my chamber door. Why are you so wet? The Raven, a narrative poem by Edgar Allan Poe, first published in 1845. The poem is about a lover who is visited by a mysterious raven that repeats a single word. The poem is known for its musicality, stylized language, and supernatural atmosphere. The poem is considered Poe's most famous work. It is a pseudo dialogue between the narrator and his own psychological echo. Wow. So he basically was like schizophrenic or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Especially to write that book back then.
Yeah. His wife was much younger than him.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to see the age difference. I mean, Google it.
Oh, back then she probably was 15.
Yeah.
It was normal. It's normal for motherfuckers to be 30 with a 16-year-old wife.
Yeah.
It says
she was 13 years old.
Huh?
So Edgar Allan Poe's wife, Virginia Eliza Clem Poe, was 13 years old when they were married in 1836.
Damn.
14 years younger than Poe.
Damn. So oh my God, she was 13?
Yeah, he was 27.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
She died at 24 years old.
Yeah.
That nigga killed her, cuz.
Wow.
They need to get a cold case, man.
Wow.
We need to open a cold case for this.
Dang, they have a thing says, the headline of this article says, "The Short, Sad Life of Edgar Allan Poe's Child Bride."
Oh my God.
You gotta be mindful of the time. Like, I'm not gonna call him a creep because that's just like, this is 1800s.
Edgar Allan Poe, you was 69 God.
Oh,
Edgar Allan Poe, you was 69 God. Hey, run for your life. Hey, run for your life. Let me hear you say Edgar Poe. Say Edgar Poe. Now step this way. Step that way. Now step this way.
Edgar Allan Poe got a weird case. Why is he around?
And Edgar got a weird case. Why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Wop, Raven body mode. Dang, that's terrible. R. Kelly locked up for the same thing Edgar Allan Poe got away with, nigga. Damn.
That's crazy.
They need to open up. They need to have a whole episode of Law and Order about Edgar Allan Poe. Dun dun. Ice-T come out there. So, Edgar Allan Poe, man, we heard about you and that 13-year-old girl. You need to just turn yourself in. Ice Cube, my chamber door.
Oh, gosh.
Pull your pants down. My chamber whore.
That's crazy.
Somebody, freaking Mike Epps was making fun of Ice-T, saying he didn't have no lines on the show no more. Mm-hmm. He said the show started up and he was like, "Homicide detective coming," and then he just walked off. I don't know what it is about that the leading star on that show. Mm-hmm. I forgot her name, Mariska something. Mm-hmm. I've always had a crush on her, bro.
I gotta see what she look like.
You don't know what that is from Law and Order?
I mean, I do. I just gotta see what she look like. Law and Order. Which one is he on? SVU?
I can't even remember, dude. One of them.
Yeah, Mariska Hargitay.
Yeah.
Dang.
She just got a nice soul.
Yeah, Chris Ice-T on there.
Yeah. The story about her mom is fucking nuts.
What happened?
Basically the bars that exist on the bottom of trucks are because of her mother, because they had a horrible accident when she was a little kid, and the car went underneath the truck and killed the whole family except for her. She was in the back seat and she was laid down asleep.
Wait, say that one more time.
Her mother died. The bar that's on the bottom of a truck, I forgot what it's called. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Hold on. It's called a Mansfield. Her mom was Jane Mansfield. And the bar that's underneath the truck, like if you look at a 53-foot truck, right? In the back, there's a bar. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? That's on the back of the truck. Mm-hmm. It looks like a bumper, but it's got two rods and
I got you.
It's called a Mansfield bar because of Jane Mansfield. Jane Mansfield was.
They look like they got pictures. Ugh.
Yeah, you see the pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
so a car accident happened. And
yes, what her Mariska Hargitay, her mom was Jane Mansfield.
Dang.
Yeah, and she was in the back seat and it ripped the whole top of the car off. You see that shit?
Mm-hmm. God dang.
Yeah, man. So after that, they started making those bars in the back of the trucks, so cars could not go underneath the trailer.
Wow.
And it's because of Jane Mansfield. It's called the Mansfield bar. So for those that don't, I don't speak much about truck driving, but that is some truck driving history, that the Mansfield bar that's on the back of trucks is due to Jane Mansfield's family dying, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Mansfield bar, and it shows why they have it. For those, this is just, I don't want to call it useless information, but this is information that I just have in my brain. I don't know.
Yeah.
A Mansfield bar, also known as a under-ride guard, is a metal bar that hangs from the back of large vehicles like semi-trucks to prevent cars from sliding underneath in the event of a rear-end collision. Excuse me.
Damn.
Yeah, it's insane, man.
Yeah. Her mother was like an actor and whatnot.
Yes, she was.
Playboy playmate also.
Yeah, she was. Dang. She was one of them ones,
she was
bro.
out there.
She's one of them ones, man.
Yeah.
But Jane, and I think everybody. If you look at me, see the hold on. Mansfield car accident. It's fucking insane, yo.
Yeah.
Let me see the images up. Oh, they got the images covered up. They didn't want to show you.
I see the accident.
Oh shit!
Right. Yeah, it looks crazy.
Ooh, god damn! This one's bad, dude. This one's got blood on it.
Yeah.
You seen that one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! Yeah, that one's. Ooh, that's terrible.
So they must have, like, the truck must have stopped and they just ran into the back of it?
Possibly. It peeled the whole top of the car off. And
yeah.
I don't know if her brother or her siblings survived, but she did because she was laid down.
That is crazy.
But it decapitated the people in there. It's a very dark, fucked up story, but it is history, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's almost like that story of the Black Dahlia.
Mm-hmm.
I know you know about that one, right?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Mm-mm.
The Black Dahlia? It was basically a guy, I guess he was like a surgeon of some sort, and he basically filleted this lady and left her out there.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a very well known story. I think it happened in was it in Los Angeles, I think.
God damn.
Yeah. It was some twisted people, man.
Mm-hmm. LA got a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah. She died in Leimert Park.
Dang.
That's where Dom Kennedy from.
Yeah.
Leimert Park.
Yeah. God dang.
Let me see what's up in that safe. Shout out to Dom Kennedy, man.
Yeah, you're real West Coast OG. Yeah,
it was like a surgeon or some shit that did that. But anyways, all right, we're beating this over.
Mm-hmm.
We're beating this up. I'm sure that the people are like, yo, this is a lot of random information from my brain. I can't handle it. All right. I don't have anything else on this one, man.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
All right. You want to wrap it up? You want to finish it up with Mr. 69 God?
I mean, we talk about it real quick.
Yeah. All right. Switching gears. Let's wrap this thing up, man. Drake. I guess Drake was grilling DeMar DeRozan.
Mm-hmm.
You can fill me in more on that. I'm not too...
Yeah, so Drake and Kendrick, they have their I'm gonna say it ongoing beef, but they had their rap battle a few months ago, and obviously DeMar DeRozan, being from Compton, being from the same place Kendrick Lamar was, he supported the concert and he was in the video, and Kendrick Lamar shouted him out in his song, because DeMar DeRozan played basketball in Toronto. But now, he no longer plays there now. But he plays on the Sacramento Kings. So Sacramento Kings are playing the Toronto Raptors. They were, I think they were retiring Vince Carter's jersey. So Drake was there in support, and they just so happened to be playing the Kings, which DeMar DeRozan is on the Kings. And, Drake gets on there, and first he's kind of like ice grilling DeMar DeRozan. Him and I think Chubbs is the person that he's with. But they're just kind of like meme mugging DeMar DeRozan, which I thought was just kind of like, it's a little OD. Like, DeMar's not afraid of you guys. Like, one year in public, you're at a basketball game. Like, DeMar DeRozan is from Compton. Like, he's seen much worse than like, you know, a rapper staring at him at a basketball game. Yeah, and also there was a moment where they pulled Drake on camera, or I don't know if he's on camera, but they interviewed him really quick, and they were just talking about, you know, the whole event. And then basically Drake mentioned that if they were to retire DeMar DeRozan's jersey, that he would go up there and pull it down.
End quote. Drake said, if you ever put a DeRozan banner up, I'll go up there and pull it down myself. And it's like, dude, you are like, you're making yourself too important, Drake. Yeah. I love Drake as a fan, but I can also spot when somebody's being corny. Drake the type of nigga that'll have a beef with somebody and then make a song, like sing a song about him. Like, DeRozan, why are you mad? Why you tripping? Bloom, 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 bloom. I could really see him doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think after this whole thing, I don't know. I think people are, when you're put in this type of position, you can only come out a couple ways. You can kind of lose the battle, or you can kind of lose it disgracefully, if that makes sense. You know?
It's just stop, man.
It's almost like when we're watching football or basketball, and it's the fourth quarter of a football game. The one team is getting blown out, and then the losing team starts to throw punches and get in the fight. And that's kind of like what this looks like for Drake. Like, you're kind of looking kind of like a sore loser in all of it.
I said right here on this podcast that Drake needed to go away for a while. And then even Charlamagne said it after I said it. But Charlamagne said, yeah, he needs to be gone until after the year. Like, the battle ended, what, a few months ago? Like, when specifically?
I don't know the exact dates.
Yeah, but all I know is the day that he dropped They Not Like Us, we was over at your girl's family's house.
Yeah.
And we was all eating barbecue.
Yeah. Well, what were we over there for?
Was your girl's birthday? It wasn't her birthday that day?
Was that it?
I think that might have
been. It had to be in May then.
Yeah.
If that was the case.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we was all eating and shit, and then we was like, yo, he dropped another song.
Yeah.
And we was like, oh, this mug slap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been some months. If he would have went away after that, so we're talking about May, let's say May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and then came out in January.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, just hit him over the head with just bangers.
He should have just ducked off too, because Kendrick just has more stuff coming.
Yeah,
like he's about to perform at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If he would have just ducked off, like he would have. Yeah. If he would have just February till like April, May of next year, like, you know, then. And he could have still done his like Instagram like pop out. He still could have went to basketball games and everything, but he just would have been like out of the limelight. Like, he dropped a song and ain't nobody talking about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But see, that's the thing. Like, that's how Kendrick is moving right now the way Drake should actually be.
Should have been moving. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about it too is this is the bad time to like try to like make yourself sing, because LA is up right now. Like, the West Coast is up. The Dodgers just won the World Series. Kendrick just won that battle.
Yeah.
So it's like right now, it's probably the best time is just, you know, let it cool down.
Just chill.
The Young Thug just got out. You know, that would have been a good time to like not release no music or collaborate with Young Thug and not drop it to the new year.
Yeah.
But you got to be out here like, DeRozan. When I shoot the ball, it goes in. You shouldn't be doing that, man. You need to sit the fuck down, Drake. This got to stop. God damn it. Yeah, I got nothing else on this, man. I love Drake and I love Kendrick, but I don't got nothing else for Drake.
I think the more we see some of these celebrities move, you know, the more that they are in the limelight, the more we see who they really are, and it's just like we don't really care to see it. You know, if that makes sense. Like we seeing a lot of like, you know, when Will Smith was going through his stuff, like we was just like, yeah, I think we liked Will Smith a lot more when we didn't know all this stuff. And, you know, same thing with Drake. When we just liked the music and, you know, he did a couple interviews here and there and some rap, some features and singing, and it was just like, okay, this is dope. But, you know, once you start to like really dive into like who these people are, you're just like, I wish I only had the music. Or I should only had the movies. So.
Man, I say fuck the rose and why you act like that. I know you think you're good, but you're not all that.
I'm just saying.
You could do better.
Tell me, have you heard that lately?
I'm just saying, I'll rip down your banner. All right, man. It looks like we made it to the end of this one. All right. If you've made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to A Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McKee.
It's your boy K Things.
We're out of here.
Peace.